drive things off the wall.
That's us, man. 24/7.
You should expect the unexpected. I mean,
Make it known that this is all about being 100% authentic.
We are live now.
So with that being said, let's jump right in.
That's interesting.
Right.
So when
So-
go ahead.
I want to ask a question real quick because Lonzo said something, and Warren he mentioned it in the beginning. He said this the mental aspect, and Lonzo, you said that it seemed like she might, because of the false starter, because they got called out the blocks, that could have mentally messed with her. We all know what happened with Tokyo with her getting DQ'd because of the marijuana. I've always been under the impression or of the stance that that was a stupid disqualification, mostly because it's not going to enhance her performance, because I'm solely thinking her getting high before a race, unless she smoked like right before she got on the track, there's no reason why that should be, of any benefit to her. But hearing you guys say what you just said, mentally, if she was not there mentally, now that adds another layer to things, because if she used marijuana to cope with the tragedy that she was facing, and that helped calm her nerves enough going into those previous races, that Olympic trial race, that could have technically given her an unfair edge. When you say it that way, if the way you guys analyze her beyond just the outcome, beyond the 11 seconds, it's like, it seems like if she wasn't there mentally,
That's a good point.
the argument could be made that maybe marijuana was an unfair advantage for her in those previous races. What are y'all thoughts on that?
it was unfortunate that the times that she ran, and I mean, she definitely earned her way onto the team at the U.S. trials. At the end of the day, even though weed is legalized in many states, it is still a banned substance per the USATF track and field standards. And going into that, that. I mean, you hear a lot of individuals say, well, it's her coach's fault, or it's in the people that's around her. They should have told her. She knew. You can't be a pro athlete and not know. So, one of the main things in the United States that everyone is fighting for. I mean, dude, it just got legalized. So, you understand and you sympathize for her from that aspect of, grieving. Everybody, grieves differently. And some people take a little longer to get over it, or some people need a little extra boost to get over it. Yeah. Do I sympathize? Most definitely. But the rules are rules right now. Mm-hmm. So that, the whole weed thing, that's it, at the end of the day, you knew.
And what else stands to be noted too. It's not like she made any excuses for her marijuana use. I mean, she acknowledges her fault. She knew it was wrong. She was dealing with a lot. She just, a stranger told her biological mother was dead. I don't even know how anybody could process that, let alone somebody with a microscope on her like she has. I mean, yes, it is. It's decriminalized in Louisiana, which I think is important to note as well. It is decriminalized in Louisiana, but so that means, she can go out and smoke and not be criminally punished. But again, like you said, Warren, as far as it goes with track and field, it's off limits. And you got to give her credit for saying, like, look, I know it, I did it. It's on me. That ain't on nobody else. She could have pushed the blame off and said, like, my coaches let me do it all the time. She could have blamed a million people, but nah, right. And that's the one thing about her I have to commend, no matter what, at the end of the day, she always owns her own crap.
Yeah. All right. So thinking about like where you took it to the mental health thing, right? So I think about we think about trauma, right? So hearing that somebody has died, right? When trauma occurs, typically you have two responses, and it's either fight or flight, right? And with flight, oftentimes, that is displayed through fear, right? And some sort of fear. And fear literally paralyzes you. Like, so have y'all ever been in a situation where, something traumatic has happened and you wanted to move or you wanted to do something and you just couldn't or didn't know what to do and just kind of freezed up? So I'm wondering with, so what Walt was saying with the marijuana, it was able to get her to a place to where she was able to relax and actually do this race. Without it, right? Without it, am I processing all these things? Am I processing just the fact of what these women just accomplished at the Olympics, right? To the point to where I'm on these blocks and literally I even though it doesn't look like I freezed up, but mentally I've frozen up to the point to where I can't, run the race like I want to run the race. Is that something that you all see, witness, have noticed in track, Warren?
Most definitely, and coaching from the high school level, some of these kids, it could be the smallest thing, I'm with me coaching girls. I broke up with my boyfriend, or mom's is on me so hard, and I feel like she wants to kick me out the house, and so now that mental psyche is flipped. So we got to understand. Okay, well, how can I help this athlete get back to a space where they can functionally think to where hey, we can make good choices or good decisions. So it's sad, but it's like you said, sometimes it can be the biggest thing, it can be the smallest thing, but it definitely goes across the board. As young as 6 and 7 years old that I've seen, so.
And I think I think keeping mental health in consideration, something Dev said, something Lonzo said, actually, Warren, you said it as well. When you start talking about the mechanics of it all, Shelly-Ann Fraser-Pryce, one of the greatest starters out the blocks, running. Dev said, they had been running complete races for so long, and Warren, like you said, mentally, and Lonzo said the preparation that goes into it. This is not an excuse for Sha'Carri. She's 21 years old. These women are 29 years old with Olympic competitions under
Shelly-Ann, she's in her 30s.
Right. You see what I'm saying?
35.
Yeah. So you're talking about, you're talking about these are seasoned
women.
Right. These are seasoned athletes. So if we looked at this as a Kobe versus Jordan situation, this is Kobe when he was a rookie coming into the league. You expect great things out of him, but just know Jordan has perfected now the fadeaway, and his game is at a whole nother level. He doesn't have to perform, but he has a complete and total game. Like, yeah, you might be the man, but just understand my game is complete now at this stage of my life, And I think that's something that you pointed out.
Yo, if you haven't, please take a moment to like, subscribe, and follow 5 Things Off the Wall on all platforms.